We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
Welcome back to Liberty Nation Radio, heard coast to coast on the Radio America Network. I'm still your host, Mark Angelides. We're very fortunate to have with us today Mr. John Parker of Sheepdog Impact Assistance, that's SDIA, who has been essentially jetting around the country to help people in need, from what I can tell. John, would you like to, first of all, thank you for coming on to talk with us today. And would you like to give us an overview of what Sheepdog Impact Assistance actually does?
Yes, so Sheepdog Impact Assistance is a national nonprofit, and we work with veterans and first responders from all over the country. And we have three programs that primarily we run. One is our outdoor adventure program, where we bring veterans and first responders to our ranch or to other areas of the country and take them on what we call an outdoor adventure. One of our slogans is "Get off the couch." And our outdoor adventure program is all about that. We're helping them get off the couch and experience some new things that might change the way they think or look at life at that moment. That could be up in Yellowstone. It could be in Mount Rushmore. We have a 60-acre ranch in Jane, Missouri, where we do a lot of our outdoor adventures as well. So we just recently did one in Hawaii, and we have one on the docket for next year in Hawaii. So we really try to get them in places that they probably wouldn't have gone or have never been, and introduce something new to them that will help them kind of change the trajectory of their life. The second program, which is one of our most important, is our mental wellness program, and that is called Warrior Path. And Warrior Path is a 90-day program where 7 of those days are spent on our ranch in Jane, Missouri, where we're talking about post-traumatic growth and living the best life that you can. It's not psychologists, there's no drugs, it's just peer-to-peer, warriors talking to warriors about how they can understand where their trauma came from and how they can turn those struggles into strength and live their best life. Again, that program is 90 days, and 7 of it is spent on the ranch. And then after you leave the ranch, we communicate via Zoom, we communicate via text messages, you've got homework assignments. It's really just kind of keeping track of what you've learned while you were on the ranch, and then kind of helping you along with your classmates to continue to do those practices that we give you. We call them practices because if we called them tools, that would mean we're telling you something is broken. And we don't believe anything is broken. We believe that these practices, meditation or reading or journaling or going for walks outside, these are all practices that can help you kind of take a step back from that moment of trauma or that moment of angst and really kind of refocus on your day. One of the things we teach in that program is there's 2 things that you can control every day, and that's attitude and effort. And if you do a good job of controlling those, then the rest of your day is going to be pretty fine, pretty easy. The last pillar or program that we have is the one that currently has kept us very busy at this moment, and that's our disaster response / continued service. We found that veterans and first responders, when they take off that uniform, a lot of times they feel lost and they feel like they can't give back to society the way they had before. I say a lot that we signed the dotted line when we joined, whether it's the police department or the fire department or any first responder or the military, and we said we would protect and serve. And for a lot of us, that means a lifetime. We don't just stop because the uniform came off. So our disaster response missions are geared towards that. We look for ways that we can go into community after something terrible has happened and find a way to help. We don't want to get in the way, but we want to get in and do as much as we can. And the big thing at the end of the day is to provide them hope and give them a thought that, somebody cares and that there is a light at the end of this tunnel. And we find ways to do that, whether it be clearing a driveway, pulling a tree off a roof, tarping a roof after it's got holes in it from wind damage, or sometimes it's just delivering food into areas that they can't get it. And then last but not least, sometimes it's just walking up and asking somebody how they're doing. And you'd be surprised at how important that is to that person, that somebody just showed that they cared and asked them how their day was. So it's big things, it's little things. Our CEO always says, if you feel like you're doing something small on one of our disaster response missions, trust me, you're doing something big. And those are the three pillars that we have in our organization, and all three are cost free to the veterans and first responders. So when we take you on an outdoor adventure, it's paid for. When we put you through our Warrior Path, or when you sign up for our Warrior Path program, it's paid for. And when you go on a disaster response, we usually drive you there, and then everything is taken care of when we get you there. So there really is no excuse to not get off the couch and become a part of an organization like us, or volunteer for an organization like us.
The second pillar about the warrior ethos, that that pretty much pervades all of it, doesn't it?
It
It's
does.
the overarching idea that inside each of us there's a warrior, and inside first responders specifically and military specifically, these are people who've put that persona out at front, and because of that, they're the people who take the most damage within society, which is where your first pillar comes in. But then the pillar three, which is the disaster relief efforts, that's actually that's a very reciprocal situation, isn't it?
Yeah, so for the last 3 weeks, we've been on the road, which is it's very unusual. We've never had a back-to-back-to-back
Mm.
scenario where we're, tasking our people and our volunteers. 2 weeks ago, it was Hurricane Helene, and we were in Florida. Then we came back to Arkansas to refuel for one day, load up again, grab the next group of volunteers, and head down to North Carolina to do a lot of flood recovery for them, and that was a lot of extensive work. And now we're back here in Northwest Arkansas for 24 hours, and we're getting ready to head down to outside of Tampa for Hurricane Milton. And again, it's, we know there's a need. We know that people need us and need help. And it's very important to us. Helping is healing for us as well. So we try to find ways that we can give back to the communities, but we also know that we've got skills that some other organizations don't have. We have a lot of veterans and first responders that run towards danger.
There's a very American ethos, that of rugged individualism, and when that coincides with like a brotherhood of like-minded people, it's one of the most powerful forces, and I think that's something that is really behind what a lot of people would bulk at saying, but American exceptionalism. It's the idea that the individual uh, is an important enough factor that when they get together, it's almost an unstoppable force.
Yeah, it's always sad to see that a natural disaster is what brings us close and brings us tight again. We believe that America is strong. We believe that Americans are an unbelievably resilient group of people, and I've seen that over the last 3 weeks. As I've gone around the country and I've seen people in their worst moment, and yet they're asking me how I am, or while we're cutting down trees, or we're moving water or tarping a roof, we have just people drive by and offer us water and drinks and food and hot food. So the resiliency of America, it's out there, and it's very, very strong. And like I said, it's unfortunate that it takes these kinds of events to bring us all together. But I will tell you that this country is extremely strong, and that people believe in each other. And you don't always see that until there's moments like this. But as I've gone around, it's given me renewed hope, because I truly believe that this country is amazing. And I'll tell you, in North Carolina, when we would go up in the mountains and we would go to some of these people's houses. I mean, there's a 78-year-old man who's walking 2 miles to go carry 6 bottles of water for him and his wife because they're trapped up there. And when we finally got to him and brought him some aid, he was all smiles. He wanted to show us a solar charger that he'd gotten from the army guys down the road. And he wanted to show us that flower bed that he had protected by chainsawing down a big tree that laid on it because it was his wife's favorite thing. We also met a woman who was 85 years old that talked about how sitting by candlelight every night has brought the romance back into her marriage with her husband. And these are people who don't even realize that down the road, an entire community is gone. It was wiped out because of the floods. They haven't been able to go down and see it yet. So it's these people that find good in these moments of disaster. And again, like I say, one of the things that we bring is hope. Hope is free. And if you're willing to talk to someone and listen, you can provide that hope for them. And for us as first responders and veterans, I mean, we defended this country, and we've got a brotherhood, and it's very tight, and you see it on display during these type of events.
So what's the future for Sheepdog Impact Assistance?
Yeah, every year we're getting bigger and bigger, and that's what's exciting about our organization. And this year we actually hit a milestone, which was we've helped veterans and first responders in every single state, and that was huge for us. Now it's really, we have a motto: we're good, but we want to be great. And so we look for ways to do that. We're always looking for donors and sponsors that want to help us ramp up our outdoor adventure program and that want to be a part of our mental wellness program. Our disaster response, again, we've never seen anything like what we're seeing right now. But I can tell you, every time we put the call out for volunteers, it blows our mind how many people are like, hey, I'm going to take my vacation days and go and help somebody else like this. So for us, it's really just, we're trying to find the right people that want to be involved in the program and be involved in this organization and help us go from good to great, because our mission is simple. We want to help veterans and first responders continue to get off the couch and lead their best life. And we know we can do that because we've seen the other side of it. We've seen the statistics. We know that what we teach works. One of the big things we teach is post-traumatic growth. Again, we don't want to use the word broken. We have warriors that are in our organization, people that have done things and see things that not a lot of people, on this earth have seen. But they're great human beings. They're leaders. They inspire others. So we like to just do whatever we can to help remind them that person's inside there. And what ways can we do or can we help you find that's going to bring out that person again? So the organization's getting bigger, and we're looking for, donors and sponsors that want to help us take those 3 pillars to the next level. But we're also looking for that veteran and first responder that wants to be a part of something big and not only help them, but help inspire others as we go.
John, can you tell people where they can get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Yeah, so you can always go to our website, which is sheepdogia.org, or you can follow us on Facebook, which is Sheepdog Impact Assistance. Instagram, it's sheepdogia. Those are our 3 main places, but we're very responsive. So when people hit us up on any of those channels, we love to get back to them again, because it's about bringing in more people into the organization and just kind of giving them a chance to inspire others.
We're talking with John Parker of Sheepdog Impact Assistance. John, thanks ever so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.